टेंशन नहीं यार, कहाँ है वो 82 वाला? Ebon memories, the tragic cynic. Orb of devotion, Sophia the sage. Oh, okay. Anima shard. Here lies the memories of a lost soul, the soul of a stranger. This stranger was beloved by the people of Cornelia and loved them in return. With unshakable faith and duty, they set out to defeat chaos and save the kingdom. All it took was one touch of the darkened wind crystal for everything to fall apart. Forgotten memories surged to life, and with them came despair. Despair at this twisted realm and the stranger's own inability to... nahi. His own role in its perpetuation. Moments later, the stranger was brought low by a creature that issued from the darkness. Consumed with hatred, even as they died, the stranger cursed their own inability to protect their world. This malicious mix of emotion twisted their soul, and at that moment, a new horror was born. Now, the spirit of this stranger lingers here. It suffers, desperately hoping for someone to free it from the shackles of its regrets. कौन है ये? नियॉन या सोफिया लग रही है. या फिर जेड भी हो सकता है, सही बोलूं तो. मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली जेड है ये. चलो जेड का की भी पुराने मेमोरीज से मुझे लगता है. फिर टियामत बस वही है.
Time for a change.
I mean, Fiend of Wind. Once upon a time, there was a woman who wished above all else to save the world. Okay, her empathy was a torment, and soon her days were spent consumed with hatred for her own powerlessness and for the cruel masters who created her miserable world. ये नियॉन है. Her miserable world. नियॉन है ये. Alas, not awaited her but a pointless and violent end. With her last breath, she cursed this unjust existence, and lo, her bitterness reached out and joined hands to the dark emotions swirling within her dark. नहीं, सोफिया यार, क्योंकि सोफिया द सेज का मिलेगा ना इससे. सोफिया, पर सोफिया यहाँ की थोड़ी ना है. सोफिया तो हमारे साथ दूसरे में आई है. हर मिजरेबल वर्ल्ड तो वो नियॉन है. Tiamat, the fiend of wind. In the gilded halls, the Lufenians frowned at this most unfortunate turn of events. Since that day, she was no longer permitted to return, and yet a hatred as powerful as hers could not be silenced. And no matter how many times the world begins anew, she endures, brooding, rancorous, bloated with raw hatred. Right.
Do this.
Yeah. Good. Isle of Dragons. नहीं भैया नहीं आ जा shit. No. Oh. ये भी ना बात उसका ही इंतजार करना है यार, जब उसके मुंह नीचे हो वो सबसे अच्छा मौका है उसे करने का.
Looks troublesome.
नहीं ओके अब एक ले लो ये हुई ना बात एक ये लगभग मरी रीजनरेट Oh shit. क्या?
I'm far from done.
जा ठीक है काफ़ी ज़्यादा हो गया इसका
Don't be reckless, Jack. Jack's aid. Finally asking for help.
ये हुई ना बात अस्सी के ऊपर मिले सारे बार कोई गे रिवॉर्ड में नहीं मिलेगा ऑर्ब ऑफ डिवोशन 15 एनिमा शार्ड 5 और सोफिया द सेज मोर ऑफ सोफिया's memories have been unlocked she can now select the sage job सही है ये भी हो गया बहुत अच्छे है अगला कौन सा है 84 वाला करना है ना नहीं इबोन मेमोरीज द ट्रुथ सीकर ठीक है ये अगला करना है और उससे पहले थीफ का एक ये है इसके 3 है ऑन एनिमी decreases break amount required to activate soul shield okay. ये अनलॉक अभी नहीं हो सकता हो सकता पाथ ऑफ द टायरेंट अनलॉक द टायरेंट eradicate all who stand before you with attacks wreathed in elemental energy tyrants can hold R2 to activate enchant imbuing their weapons with an element corresponding to the magic of their choice holding down R while casting will increase the tier of the spell from Enfire 1, Enfire 2, Enfire 3 okay सही है टायरेंट का भी करना है इसका ये वॉइड नाइट भी मिल जाएगा फिर 2 4 और सही है ये एवरेज इक्विपमेंट लेवल बढ़ा है जितना बढ़ा सकता था बढ़ा चुका हूँ पर फिर भी काफ़ी कम है मैं उम्मीद कर रहा हूँ कि ये वाले जो एबनी मेमोरीज ट्रुथ सीकर साइड मिशन है इसमें एक से ज़्यादा लोगों को मारने का होगा यार क्योंकि एक के साथ लेवल अप करना इससे नियॉन द वॉइड नाइट लगता है फिर से एक से ही लड़ना होगा Here lie the memories of a lost sword, a sword fighter. Hailed by the people as the bringer of light, their hopes rested on this warrior's shoulders. Surely this was the person who would defeat chaos at last. When this warrior touched the darkened fire crystal, it was a revelation. There was no chaos, no enemy to slay. Filled with fury at fools who clung to the belief that all could be... that could be righted with one stroke of a blade, the warrior displayed. The crystal resonated with the darkness forming in their soul, and from it created a monster. When the dust settled, the warrior's allies lay dead, and of the warrior no trace remained. Now the spirit of the stranger lingers here, consumed by the desire to dispel a foolish fantasy. It suffers, desperately hoping for someone to free it from the shackles of its regrets. बहुत अच्छे. अर्थ क्रिस्टल वाले जो बॉस था उससे लड़ना होगा. अरे यार सिर्फ एक से लड़ने से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. Fool's Missive 7. जो भी हो यार. Defeat Marilith. Once upon a time, there was a girl who prayed with all her might to become chaos. Her prayers were answered when she made a deal with certain parties she befriended. With newly acquired dark crystal in hand, she let rage devour her, and in the instant before that took her, the emotion of darkness gathered within the fire crystal, reached out and took her hand. Thus, the girl was reborn as Marilith, Fiend of Fire. Storytelling aside, it appears the dark crystal are indeed the trigger. I had thought the darkness and emotional energy alone were enough, but only when the torrent of memories held by one with a powerful will links their heart to a dark crystal can chaos emerge. Strange to think that while my erstwhile masters fear the notion of chaos, it is by their own hands that they shape the condition from which it forms. How amusingly awkward for them. नियॉन तो वो नाइट बनी थी यार. अब एक और ये भी बन गई, मतलब जो भी हो. चलो. Shit, ये बहुत बुरा जा रहा है.
This one's got some teeth. Come on, we can do this.
Oh shit. अबे यार स्टोनर केस नहीं. ये दोनों भूल गया यार.
You're finally asking for help.
Yeah. नहीं. Oh, हो गया ये.
Defenses are shattered.
अब इसके खिलाफ सही समय पे.
You're finally asking for help. Your defenses also.
इसका ज़्यादा भी नहीं करना चाहिए.
We must help Jack. We need to try something else. You're finally
ना. Oh shit.
drink the high water.
Be safe, guys.
बॉल चलो एक और मेरे पास था वैसे भी पोशन। ये नहीं है यार, एक को मारने से कुछ नहीं होगा, ये लेवल अप नहीं होगा। और तीसरा वाला भी वैसे ही होगा मेरे हिसाब से। मेरे हिसाब से अब बस ऐश बचा है, नियॉन द वॉइड नाइट, सिर्फ ऐश का बचा है अब बस। यार आखिरी कौन सा है? एक ने दो और हैं अभी। ओके, दो और का होगा, 84 और 88। हाँ सही में। नहीं, ये ऐश द टायरेंट और उसका फिर क्या क्या होगा वो बाद में देखेंगे। तो सही है, इसमें इस लेवल के लिए मैं अंडर लेवल्ड नहीं हूँ। इस साइड मिशन के लिए कम से कम मैक्सिमम जितना दे सकता था जैक को दिया, उससे 82 मेरा एवरेज इक्विपमेंट लेवल है और मिशन लेवल है 84। ऐश द टायरेंट इससे अनलॉक होगा। देखते हैं ऐश का क्या हुआ था पिछली बार इसके साथ। Here lie the memories of a lost soul, a stranger without a name. The man often declared with honest pride that it was his duty to protect the weak. This duty pushed him to face monster after monster, but when he touched the darkened earth crystal, he learned the monsters were those he sought to protect. A vision of the past showed them betraying him and murdering his friends. He wavered and broke. A horror stepped forth from the darkness with a mocking sneer, and soon the stranger and his friends lay deep, dead upon the ground. Now the spirit of the stranger lingers here, consumed by fear, by the vision of its friend's death, by its own weakness and despair. It suffers, desperately hoping for someone to free it from the shackles of its regrets. ये शायद बॉस ना, ये दिखा रहा है पिक्चर उसका। सॉरी, पिछले वाला फायर था, ये अर्थ है। तो मतलब फिर से ये वो बड़े से लिच या जो था उसके साथ होगी की लड़ाई। हाँ, पिछली बार तो एक बार में मार दिया था, इस बार देखते हैं कैसे जाता है। Defeat the Lich. Once upon a time, a friend of mine was driven by a conviction so strong it could put fear into the hearts of the gods themselves. A man looked up to him, and my friend in turn trusted this man with his life. This man, well, the thing he feared the most was losing his companions, and one in particular most of all. Not just because he had faith in him, no, but because there was some great deed he was destined to do. And so this man strove to become strong enough to protect everyone he cared about. He failed. Soon both he and his friends lay dead by the wayside, their bones destined to rot in the sand. Or so it was to be, until the ball of sorrow and regret that was the man's soul linked with the darkness inside the earth crystal, and until the ball of sorrow and regret that was the man's soul linked with the darkness inside the earth crystal and transformed his remains into Lich, fiend of earth. The arrogant masters of the gilded halls knew not of this, for you see, I kept this particular tidbit of information from them for the sake of our plan. हाँ, चलो एक बार फिर से लिच को मारते हैं। Yeah.
It's up to you, Sophia.
Allow me. Doesn't bode well.
Don't worry. We got this.
Heal that before it gets bad.
बे 3 चलो चलता है। Oh shit.
It's up to you, Sophia.
बच गया बच गया बच गया बच गया बच गया नहीं नहीं नहीं
Time to go wild, Jack.
जा 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 मार
Time to mop up.
We'll be all right.
oh shit
Better tread carefully.
ओ हो गया इस बार ज़्यादा अच्छा गया अब बस धीरज रखना है मुझे
It's up to you, Sophia.
Straight to seal off.
नहीं ना यार
That looks bad. Say it so.
Are you keeping track of the potions?
Hey, be safe, guys.
Allow me.
oh shit
Farewell.
oh shit offering of the dead वैसा था मारना है यार इसे ओके इससे आप दूर रहना है
It's up to you, Sophia.
You're finally asking for
आजा एक और करता है ना एक दो तीन हाँ मार मार
Get him high.
It's the last of them.
fight with caution.
Time to go wild, Jack.
You're finally asking for help.
मार 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 ओ यार इसका हो जा जा
Time to go wild, Jack.
आजा नहीं
Just a few more swings.
Let's end this.
Open flame.
हो गया सही है एश द टायरेंट अनलॉक हो गया। ये सारे जॉब से जो मेरे पास भी नहीं है अभी तक। अब आखिरी देखते हैं, जेट का एक और हो जाएगा। देखते हैं एक मिनट रुकना। जेट द निंजा। बढ़ा नहीं पाया मैं अपने एवरेज इक्विपमेंट लेवल को। देखते हैं जेट की क्या कहानी है। Here lie the memories of a lost soul, a stranger without a name. The stranger wished above all else to become strong and to that end trained harder than anyone. Soon their abilities were recognized and they were hailed as a warrior of light. Even the task of defeating chaos they sought even greater power to prove themselves worthy. But the moment they touched the darkened water crystal and epiphany, एक मिनट, epiphany, पता नहीं, याद नहीं आ रहा यार, इसे कैसे बोलते हैं epiphany? Epiphany, sure. Epiphany came with new knowledge of who they really were and what their true objective was. The purpose of their quest for power was transformed. A futile revelation, it seemed, as monsters emerging from the crystal's darkness made a mockery of the strangers' wanted abilities. As death embraced them, they cursed their weakness, envious as they were of those who possessed true power. Now the spirit of this stranger lingers here, consumed by jealousy and tormented by its failure. It suffers, desperately hoping for someone to free it from the shackles of its regret. ठीक है, फिर शुरू करते हैं। क्रैकन के खिलाफ लड़ना होगा, देखते हैं कैसे जाता है। देखते हैं ये क्या बोलेगा जेट के बारे में। In a previous loop, he told me that unlike the others, he was a mere commoner or its equivalent. Perhaps some arcane social intricacies up there I dare not theorize about are to blame, but from what I saw of him, his abilities and rank put him on equal footing with other strangers. Still, he persisted in debasing himself. Now, for a man beguiled by strength like him, having such a prime specimen of pure power always near at hand must have contributed to his inferiority complex. Then again, it must be hard to see your own worth when your peers are prodigies too. That must have fueled the resentment he drowned in as he lay dying, and what triggered his transformation into Kraken, fiend of water. Ironically, this very transformation is what proves beyond doubt that he is the equal of any of his peers. ठीक है, चलो क्रैकन को एक कपा मारने की कोशिश करते हैं। बच गया।
This one's got some teeth.
Over unless we give up.
ये भी बात।
Watch your step. Time to go wild, Jack.
Allow me. Defenses falter.
क्या था यार वो?
Okay. Time to go wild.
अबे यार बस कोशिश की मैंने।
Must help Jack. Now I
अबे यार उसको नहीं लगा। नहीं।
Time to go wild.
इस पर याद था यार। अबे यार
Almost out of potions. Be safe, guys.
यार अपना थोड़ा शील्ड बढ़ाना है मुझे।
Time to go wild.
ओह बाल बाल बचा उससे। एक अबे यार गोल गोल घूम रहा था इतना। फिर से बच गया। इस बार बस एक के साथ आया मैं। एक पोर्शन तो है, चलो कम से कम। अगर धीरज के साथ खेला तो हो सकता है ये अभी भी।
Time to go wild, Jack.
You're finally out.
बच गया बच गया बच गया। ओके और इसके सुनामी से बचना है।
It's up to you, so
जा जा।
Allow me.
ओ यार एक और है मेरे पास अभी भी।
time to go wild.
Allow me.
ये दूर से मैं नोवा फ्लैश का फिर भी कुछ कर सकता हूँ।
Don't drink them all at once.
Fight with caution.
एक पूरा स्विंग करता है। हाँ बाल बाल बचा। मारो यार।
That looks to be the final one.
Mistakes.
मारो मारो मारो। ओह मारते रहे, बहुत अच्छे यार। रुका नहीं। अच्छा मैं सोच रहा था रुक जाना चाहिए शायद मुझे, पर अच्छा हुआ नहीं रुका। सही है। ये भी हो गए सारे, अभी के जितने भी साइड क्वेश्चन सारे हो गए। बहुत अच्छे। मोर ऑफ जेट्स निंजा जॉब बहुत अच्छे। अब बस एक ही बचा है ना मेरे हिसाब से मेन क्वेस्ट, ये नीचे ट्यूटोरियल्स छोड़ के। सही है, तो बस अब यही बचा है।